Come upstairs. Come upstairs. Come upstairs. Come upstairs. Come upstairs and I'll show you where all my demons hide from you. So, as you can tell, I cannot play the guitar. I do plan on learning very soon. But for the time being, no. Welcome! Hi! My name is Miia and welcome to Miia's Nook. Because I'm recording it in my Nook. Yeah. Pretty exciting stuff. I am a California native. Northern California. Not Southern. Big difference. Sorry, SoCal people. I love you, but I don't rep you. Just like you don't rep me. So, I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not going to apologize for where I'm from. I'm from a little town called Fairfield, California. Great place. Now, I live in Brooklyn, New York. I know. Big jump. Big jump. Lived in New York for 4 years now. Almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years. August 16th, I think, is my anniversary. I gotta check on that. I should know my New York anniversary. So almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years next month. Whew. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So I'm a struggling artist, just like the rest of us. And I decided that I wanted to have my own show, you know? And you can do that now. If you have an iPhone, an iPad, a recording device, a Canon camera, which I would love to have a Canon camera, just a really nice one, just I can make some great movies. But you don't. What I'm saying is, you don't need much to create, which is really, really cool. And I'm glad I have finally grown a nice, juicy pair of nuts, balls. I'm glad I grew a nice, big, juicy, hairy pair of them. Because it's time. It's time. So I decided to create this show, Miia's Nook, and talk about the things that I want to talk about. The things that people don't like talking about, the things that make people feel uncomfortable, the things that society tells us we shouldn't talk about. Bump society. Bump the past. Bump he said, she said. I want to talk about some stuff. So I'm going to talk about it. So the first episode is now, which is pretty exciting. And of course I want to start with a bang. So our topic today is, drum roll please.
3, 2, 1. Self-destruct sequence activated.
Periods. I'm not kidding. So, periods. Yep. I get one. I get one every 4 weeks. Like clockwork. Aunt Flo, the Red Sea, Clifford, the big red dog, etc., etc. Call it what you want. It's a period. And not the thing that comes at the end of a sentence indicating that it's your turn to talk or that I'm going to continue talking. It's menstrual cycle. Yep. So, why is something that is so common, happens to, I think, half of the population? I know that there are more women than men on the planet, but I'm taking into consideration the youth and the elderly, so those who have yet to begin their period and those who've stopped perioding. So about half of the population periods. Let's just call it periods. The perioding. It's a verb now. It's what you do. Period. About half of the population periods. We know this, just like we know that everyone uses the restroom, just like everyone hopefully brushes their teeth in the morning and at night and flosses. You know, these are things that we do every day, right? So why is it so taboo? Why are people so freaked out by it? Why does it make people uncomfortable? Now, I get the basics of it. It's blood coming out of our girly parts. But that's the way we were made, you know what I mean? So it's not like it's anything new. It's not like it's this new discovery of something that just started happening. No, this has been going on since the beginning of time. Existence, life, humans, mammals would not exist if it were not for the menstrual cycle. That's how life is created. That's how babies are born. And for those of us who ain't trying to have babies, we lose an egg once a month. Like clockwork. And we have to spend all this extra money on tampons, pads, Midol, birth control, all this other extra stuff, which I think the government should pay for. God knows if men had periods, the government sure would pay for it. But we have enough problems, man, in our government, so I'll save that for a later date. I will, but seriously, we need to get some sort of compensation. It's ridiculous. And tampons are expensive. Even the organic kind, like the organic kind that don't even have the plastic tube, the one you just shove up in there yourself, those are really expensive. It's, you know, whatever. So if we get our period from the ages of 13 to 50, that's about 440 times we get our period. Assuming that your period lasts a week. Sometimes it's 5 days, sometimes more, sometimes. These are all just assumptions. Within that assumption, within that time frame of this age to this age, with how much time we spend bleeding, and this number of periods that we will get during this time period, we will spend 8.5 years of our lives bleeding from our girly parts. Vagina. I said it. Isn't that crazy? 8.5 years. We will spend 8.5 years bleeding out of our vaginas. Women are badass. I'm just throwing that out there. Women are badass. Men, you bleed out of your dick for 8.5 years. Or don't. No, that wouldn't be a good idea. I take that back. So what else? I have a few other fun little tidbits about periods. So that whole myth that women say that the more time you spend with other females, your cycles kind of collide and sync up together and you're in your periods together, that actually hasn't been proven. So it's still a myth. So it's still one of those kind of he said, she said, maybe, let's play Ouija board kind of things. We may never know. We may never know. And then my question about that is, if that is true, what determines, or who determines, or what determines, like in terms of your DNA, your genes, your makeup, what determines who is the alpha vagina? Like, whose period is the leader of all the other periods? I think it's funny. I think it's freaking hilarious. And another cool fact was that, so now we have all these tampon, Tampax, pad commercials, right? And they always show you how the absorbency works. Very similar to that of a diaper ad, if I may add. They always have that weird blue liquid. Why is it blue? I've never understood why it's blue. Of all the colors, is that just like, this is the least gross color. Sky blue liquid. Looks like toilet bowl cleaner. Like, that's crazy. But the first time an ad, and it was only a print ad, the first time an ad actually showed red instead of blue, so something that actually looked like blood, was not until 2011. And it was just a print ad. That was not getting commercial time. Not during the Super Bowl. Not one of those guys with stuff in their faces with hot dogs and nacho cheese and Bud Light and Bud wings. Bud hot wings. Bud wings. That might be interesting. Like a Budweiser battered, and then you dip and then you put hot sauce. Actually, somebody get on that. So I thought that was really interesting. That it took so long, 2011, and then they only got so close, you know, because they were only able to use it as a print ad. But progress is progress. I don't really believe that, so I'm not going to say it. So yeah, so those are my fun facts about periods. One of my favorite movies of all time. All time. Think what you like, but this movie is freaking fantastic. And it's actually a lot smarter than people give it credit for. And the fashion in this movie.
Yes!
This is some fashion that I would love to see come back. It slowly is, bits and pieces of it, but I want all of it. I want the mini skirts, with the three-piece suits, and the patent leather Mary Jane. Yes, yes, yes. So anyways, one of my favorite lines from a movie about periods is in this movie. It's a scene, a classroom scene with Cher and Mr. Hall. And he's going down the list, and he's going down and telling people how many absences they have, because we're getting to that point of the school year where you should know the absences. So I'm gonna act it out for you if you don't mind. Mr. Hall, Cher, Cher Horowitz, 2 tardies. Mr. Hall, can you recall the dates of these alleged tardies? One was last Monday. Mr. Hall, I was surfing the Crimson Wave. I had to haul ass to the ladies. I'm assuming you mean women's troubles. And so I'll let that one slide. Isn't that fantastic? The Crimson Wave. I love that. I love that. I think that's brilliant. It's wonderful. Oh man, see, periods aren't that, they're not the scariest things in the world. They're a gift, if you think about it. When you get your period, it means you're not pregnant, which for some people, that's a good thing. For other people, maybe not so much. And for those of you out there who are trying, I wish you the best of luck. And for those of you who don't necessarily want kids right now, when you get your period, it's like, okay. Even if you're not even worried about it, it's just, I'm still me, you know. I know I feel that way. I'm young, I'm independent, I'm living my life, and once a month it's like, okay, doing okay. You know, and it does suck. It's painful and it's messy and it's expensive and stuff happens. Speaking of stuff happening, I want to hear your stories. I want to hear your period stories. We all have period stories, so many of them. Some are funny, some are sad, some are embarrassing, some are messed up, some are crazy, some are scary and messy, and we all have them. You know, we're all in the same boat together. And I really want to hear your period stories. I know that's such a weird sentence to say, but it's the truth. I want to hear your period stories. I want us to not be afraid to talk about it. You know, the more we talk about it, the less embarrassing it'll be. We'll realize that we all have had that car story. We all have had that uh-oh in the bed. We've all started our period and not had a tampon and had to get a wad of toilet paper. You know, so we're not alone, ladies. You're not alone. I'm not alone. We're in this together. And I know that it might make some people feel uncomfortable, but I challenge you. I challenge you to ask yourself why it makes you feel uncomfortable. Is it uncomfortable because it's foreign? Is it uncomfortable because you don't love that about yourself? Is it uncomfortable because you're embarrassed by it? But then why are you embarrassed by it? Because I'm telling you right here, right now, you're not alone. I get my period too. Stuff happens. It's embarrassing, but heck, I trip constantly walking down the streets. I run into stuff. I'm clumsy. I do embarrassing stuff all the time. That's part of life, you know. If you can't laugh at yourself. So I think at this point, I'm going to wrap it on up. I just want to thank you very much for sticking with me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed making it. I really did. And I hope that shows. My only request is that, well, a few requests, I guess. I shouldn't say my only request. My requests to you are that you share this video with someone who you think will enjoy it or won't enjoy it or needs to hear this or doesn't want to hear it, but you think they should hear it anyways. I ask that you comment. Please comment. I want your feedback. I want your criticism. I want advice. I want you to tell me topics you want to hear me talk about. I want you to send me your stories, your period stories. Boys too. Boys. You have period stories. If you have been with a woman past the age of 16, you have experienced a period. You have period stories too. Don't be ashamed of them. They're funny because they happen to all of us. But yes, please comment, criticize topics you want to hear. This is something I want to continue doing. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited about what this can become and what this can be. I think I need to find a different location. It's a bit loud in the front of my room, but I have this whole apartment, so maybe I'll do it in the living room next time or something, the kitchen, whatever. I would love to have people on the show with me, so if you're interested in just coming on and we can have a chat and a cup of tea. I make a lovely cup of tea. There's also a link below, if you want to donate. I am a struggling artist trying to get my name out there and create, and it's a very difficult thing to do in this city, but I do it because I love it. I do it because this is how I'm going to get my voice out there. I do it because this is why I was put on this earth. I do it because there's nothing else that I want to do, you know, and I can't wait to start sharing a bit more work with you. I'm going to put up some songs and hopefully really learn the guitar and put up some monologues, and eventually I want to start a web series, but for right now, I'm starting here, I'm starting now, and I want to thank you for sticking with me and watching this, and please, I want your suggestions. This is my first go at this, so we can only go up from here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love from the bottom of my heart. Peace.